That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
Yeah,
you want one quick question?
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Okay, Rashad.
Also, the Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese thing is disgusting. Reese is spelled with the S. Media is creating the beef. See the thing about Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark, bro. I think it was just a natural thing. I don't even think it was like just media kind of pumped out and fake. I think people naturally are just divisive beings, right? I think it's human nature to be divisive. Like like I said, well, I said 20 times in the past 10 minutes, I'm from Atlanta. So it's like in Atlanta, you have north side, south side, west side, east side. And it's like people divide themselves amongst what part of the city they from. People divide themselves among like if you even from the city because you from like a outskirt just 5-minute drive away. You know, with black people, you have light skin versus dark skin. Like people are just naturally divisive. So I think in the case of Angel Reese, who in the 2023, season, she was talking a lot of trash all year and she was building up her fan base. And she's always, what I'm saying? People are tribal, exactly, SSB. She's always been like a trash talker. And Caitlin Clark, she's always been a trash talker. Yeah, one black person, one white person, trash talkers collide in a national championship game. LSU wins. Angel Reese does this and follows. Caitlin Clark goes out of her way to do what Caitlin Clark did earlier in the tournament against Haley Van Lith at Louisville when like that was like the Elite Eight. And it becomes this entire thing of like black girl versus white girl. And ever since then, it's kind of carried on. And it isn't as a member of the media and everything like that who's covered both Caitlin and Angel. It isn't made up from the media, bro. It's just like what the public made it. And they're just reporting on what the public made it. Now, I do say some outlets are fixated on that for the sake of money and not for like the interests of women's basketball. And I think a lot of that propaganda and coverage is dangerous to like Angel's safety and Caitlin's kind of like sanity and things of that sort. The media pumped it up, is what Zero said. People are tribal. They should be allowed to compete. It's just a rewards, so it should be fair. The whole thing started because Angel mocked Clark at the John Cena taunt. They won a magic first vert. The discourse was how the taunt was done. Yeah, but it's something that Caitlyn did first. The Clark taunt was done towards to her trainer. This is what Haley Van Lith stated. It wasn't towards her. That's the first time I heard that. Yeah, media wants to buzz. The thing about it is like when you guys are saying like about the media wanting to buzz, it's literally just what people are following, bro. Like because I give you a great example. Because I was talking to my homegirl about this. Like she texted me last week and she was like, you be covering the sissy topics on YouTube. And like I said, I salute to the LGBTQ plus community, everything like that. I ain't got nothing wrong with nobody. Because you know what I'm saying, I'm on my business. But I pointed this out to her because I feel like this is indicative of like media and this is indicative of like life and YouTube content creation, however you want to go with it. I'm scrolling down to get to it. Okay. So I'll break it down to you guys like this, right? It's actually true. Clark started it. Angel did it and followed her, and that was the issue because it was so extra. But it shouldn't like, regardless of how extra Angel was with it, like it's been 2-3 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the fact that it's like turned to like where people are making fun of Angel Reese every single missed layup is crazy. But yeah. In terms of media, this is how media works, bro. So, like I said, I was back home in Atlanta or whatever for the time being and stuff. So I was invited by a father from my previous job, who I met at my previous job, of his son who was slain by APD, Atlanta Police Department, things of that sort. And he was holding a prayer rally in Atlanta at the MLK Center. So since I was in town, I decided to cover it. So I covered it. I went out there, recorded and stuff like that. And I did 3 days of nonstop research, writing the script for it and editing it. It was some of my best work, right? It's called Jimmy Atchison. Check it out. And so I put it out and I promoted it. Like I don't even promote my YouTube, bro. Like because I want people to discover me organically. Like I don't want people to support me just because they know me in real life or something, right? So I put it out. That joint got 30 views, bro. It's got 30 views. Some of my best work. I spent 3 days on it nonstop research, talking to this person, talking to this person. I'm going out, you know what I'm saying, putting my feet on the ground. So while I'm doing it, I go live every day, right? So when I was working on it those 3 days, I mailed in every live. Like I'm just reacting to clownery, right? Content creators. So one night I react to just content creators, bro. And I react to Duke Dennis having kids. That video got 8,500 views. The same day, the same 24 hours period is when I released said video where I spent 3 days in a row working on the script, editing the video, researching, doing stuff because people have reported on this Jimmy Atchison story since since it happened 2019, right? CNN, MSNBC, NBC, did it all. I had stuff that nobody else reported about this particular case. 30 views, bro. Same day, this thing got 42 views, bro. That's how the media works. So when people are like the media, the media, the media, the media, the media, the media, at the end of the day, bro, it goes to what the people want. And obviously, the people wanted to hear more about Duke Dennis talk about his baby mamas than they did about stuff that quote unquote actually matters, bro. It just is what it is, dog. Like that's what it comes down to when you talk about media and media coverage and things of that sort. So I think with all of it, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark comes down to what the people are interested in. It's not just media just making up stuff, bro. Because media responds and media focus a lot of time on what people care about the most. So it's just a reflection of the audience, you guys. So yeah, I'll say that, bro. Mark Lamont Hill and Jamel Hill were advocating for backlash, racial, and their viewers bought into it, and then white media reacted and then behaved about race. That's what killed journalism today, is what Nate said. It's 100% like just what the people want, bro. And people like SSB said, it's tribal. People are tribal, bro. Sadly, clicks are more value. 100%. It's the reason why, you know, a lot of traditional like journalism ways and stuff like that on TV are like no more. And why Stephen A went from someone who was a columnist giving like takes on areas that he was an expert in, right? He covered mostly kind of like the NBA or whatever with Philadelphia Inquirer, worked a lot with like Allen Iverson and stuff like that. He went from that to being the liaison for all sports. And instead of just speaking from like kind of like more research standpoints, it just went to hot takes and legacy talk, because legacy talk and hot takes is what brings in the ratings and what brings in the money. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so when people complain about, man, I don't get anything from media anymore, it's because people click on the stuff, you know what I'm saying? And to keep the doors open, to keep the lights on, like people do that. So it is what it is. No, the Reese tracks talk Clark before the game, and our friend was live talking stuff. The "you can't see me" was towards our trainer, not towards a player. But that's how it's portrayed in the media. Oh, okay. Sadly, clicks are more value. Shout out to Big Nate, still in the building, things of that sort. But the Reese, you got to know, Reese and Caitlin Clark, like them folks been going back and forth. You know what I'm saying, since high school. Like they're the same class, I believe, the class of 2020. Reese was number 2 in the class, and Caitlin was like number 5. Did Skip and Stephen A. room media talk? That's a good question, bro. Cause I think there's a lane for everything. Like I like the way when it was first introduced on Cold Pizza, right? So on Cold Pizza, it was a segment on Cold Pizza, First and 10, where you had the entire morning show. It was kind of like Get Up, right? You have a traditional sports media show, morning show. It's kind of like CBS Mornings. That's what Cold Pizza was. And then they have a segment with Woody Page and and Skip Bayless, where they go back and forth about a couple topics, and then they go back to Cold Pizza. I think there is a space for everything. There's a space for opinion. There's a space for debates. There's a space for two old men yelling at each other like they in a barbershop. Like, right? Like, there's a space for all of that. And so I'm not against it. What I do think where we lose the plot is like when the focus becomes the debates and the focus becomes the hot takes. The focus becomes all of that stuff. Like that's where I think we lose the plot, because now at this point it's like folks do research, do a whole well written and edited thing, and they get 20 views. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, so example, like I'm doing something on like, I don't know, some random basketball topic, right? And I'm talking basketball, like I'm talking like X's and O's. I'm talking like, dang, if Angel Reese, you know what I'm saying, sets these screens and there's more backdoor cuts, I feel like the fluidity fluidity of the Chicago Sky offense will look much more better, and then they will rise up in the right. I can make a video like that, 20 views. If I say how the Chicago Sky offense could be more, if I went on something like this and went like, Angel Reese's missed layups are messing up her. She'll never be Caitlin Clark because she misses too many layups. 20,000 views, bro. Guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So I think, like I said, it's not the fact that it exists. Stephen A. and Skip Bayless exist, and debate and hot take culture exists. It's the fact that it's overtaken everything else. Like it's overtaken just regular journalism. That's the problem I have with it. Yeah, I followed both before Reese got injured. So you know what it is. Like, you know, like Angel Reese like was there, and I felt like Angel Reese felt like she was slept on in the class of 2020 because she got hurt at Maryland. And then, you know what I'm saying, she comes back, she works her way back. She transferred to LSU. LSU, she was putting up stupid numbers all year. I did a story. I was like, we should be talking about Angel Reese more because the numbers she was putting up in SEC play and with LSU was just stupid. It was like 24 and 14 guaranteed every night. Like it was crazy. She was dominating. And then, you know, she had the shoe came off moment and she blocked the shot with the shoe off. And then she did the little dance and all that. And now she was building credibility and stuff like that. And then Caitlin ran with the swag. She was like the face of college basketball after Paige got hurt. And that's just what that was. Hold on, let me see. ESPN are my religious watches for PTI, the program in which it was like Hollywood Squares, but with sports writers 100%. Oh, I think you're talking about Around the Horn. PTI was just it's just Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, the two old newspaper guys up in DC. I don't mind debates, but not when you're passing it off as journalism, 100%. Skip and Stephen A. aren't the main ones who ruin media talk. I think they're the faces of it. Me personally, I think they're the faces of it. You don't have to compromise too much, and you have to compromise too much and end up like Piers Morgan. Yeah, it's like all those, like I think CNN is a great example. Like CNN was like, because it used to be like Fox News is crazy, CNN is regular news. And then it became like CNN is crazy. Like Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper, and like they all became personalities. And it's like, bro, like, didn't y'all just used to say what was going on? and I think that's dangerous. But that's the reality of the situation. That's why I don't feed into racial issues when I look at players. Reese was playing against unpolished players. The WNBA is different. She was an all-star last year, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's still good. She just has to figure it out. Yeah, those were the only two shows I watched, PTI and Around the Horn. Yeah, those were good shows, man. Quality shows. Shout out to ESPN, the old ESPN for sure. But ESPN, they in a weird predicament, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like when people start watching the sports writers, when people start watching journalists and stuff like that and columnists speak on the hot topics on sports, and you know what I'm saying, and your ratings are going down. Meanwhile, on YouTube, Pat McAfee's getting 100,000 people going live, and your ESPN funded by Disney. You got Disney money to offer, like, hey, Pat, we'll bring you over here. Stop taking away our viewers on YouTube. We'll give you $50 million to come over here on ESPN. I don't know how much Pat got from ESPN, but if Stephen A got 100 mil, Pat might have got him 50. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we're going to bring you on. So now you got Pat McAfee, who's bringing YouTube culture into ESPN. It dilutes the whole ESPN kind of prestige, traditional journalism and stuff like that. I don't think I'm helping either as a traditional journalist going to games like in polo shirts and like dressing casually. When I started off with like shirt and tie and you know what I'm saying? I'm not taking anything from Reese. I'm just saying her skills were better against NCAA. The WNBA is more polished league. As a whole, it's just immature. They are folding under all the pressure. I think they're handling it both well. Both of them are. I think they're handling it both well. What I think about the NBA going to inside the NBA going to ESPN. I'll be interested to see how it looks, bro. To be honest, I'll be interested to see how Inside the NBA looks on ESPN, because it's just like they said it's going to be the same production crew and stuff like that. They're just going to be broadcasting on a different network. I don't know, because like I said, like ESPN is Disney, so it's like I don't know Chuck going to be able to get away with all that stuff he be saying. But at the same time, Pat McAfee be cussing. And that show been on the air for what, a year and a half? The only like restrictions they put on them was like Aaron Rodgers can't come on no more because Aaron Rodgers came on there talking about like the government and like the needle, the jab and stuff like that. But yeah. Well, I think both of them, Caitlyn and Angel, are handling everything well as 23-year-olds, bro. I think they handle it well. I think that's about it for me, man. Because it's 4:15. It's 4:15, and I'm starting work late tomorrow because of the College World Series. But like, I still want to get some sleep. I think it won't last 2 years on ESPN. Check is old and say he doesn't want to work. Charles Barkley has threatened retirement since 2016, and he hasn't done it. Like, I feel like at some point you got to start calling him out on his bluff. At some point you have to like, you be like, all right, bro, you really gonna retire this time? Because he said he was gonna retire. He said he was holding off to retire for Turner to keep their NBA deal rights, and then he was gonna retire. That's what he said 2 years ago on All the Smoke. And then they lost the NBA. TNT did, and he still hasn't retired. So it's like, I think Charles Barkley is gonna continue to like, oh, I'm about to retire. It might be a negotiation tactic to get more money, because then he like the highest paid guy in that space and stuff like that. It's gonna be garbage only because like Inside the NBA and halftime shows show bias coverage. We'll see. We'll see. I think Inside the NBA, like, you don't really go for like the basketball knowledge. You go for like Shaq falling over in his tree, or Kenny tripping, running to the thing. SSB said he got to go, bro. Peace. Hey SSB, I appreciate your contributions. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, bro. Zero, I appreciate the contributions. Thank you for chat tonight. Same with Flip. Flip, I'm glad I got to learn more about you as a person. To all the zero. If you, like you say, you got kids and stuff like that. Happy Father's Day to you. Happy Father's Day to anybody else in the chat. Nate, thank you for holding me down as always. Showing love, brother. I hope all is going well with you. Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Got to check in, make sure my people good, stuff like that. I like breakdowns. 100% salutes. Oh, you like breakdowns. So you like Kenny Beecham and stuff like that. Shout out to Kenny Beecham, bro. I never met him, never spoke to him, but he seems like a cool dude. Yeah. Where am I going with this? You guys take care of yourselves, man. And my name is Rashad Milligan. This is the Road to 5K subs. Make sure you have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good night, have a good evening whenever you're watching this. And if nobody else told you today, I care for you. I will be back on stream tomorrow because I stream every day. Peace.
that steps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.